And it's been another week. Today we are going to talk about Jurassic World. We're not going to talk spoilers other than things you could see in the trailers that they've been airing for a million years. Or 160 million years in the making. Now, if you've heard anybody talking about Jurassic World, I have very similar feelings about it in that it is fun. It's a fun movie. Eliza and I and our friend Jill went, and we had a really good time watching it. It's hard not to have a good time watching Jurassic World, I think, if you go in with low expectations, which I did because of what I saw in the trailers. People are saying that it's really good on action and dinosaur stuff and that there's no plot, and that's not true. Okay, there is a plot, and there's, like, themes in place as well, which some of the other Jurassic Parks, you know, they all had themes and everything, but the third movie didn't even care about the characters at all, it seemed like. It was like, here is a situation, dinosaurs, you know? And you didn't really get any involvement with the characters. They at least tried to get really involved with the characters in Jurassic World. Just because you don't care and just want to see more dinosaur action doesn't mean that they didn't attempt to bring you a story with characters in it, with things that the characters wanted and wanted to achieve and everything. The third one was a little light on that. The Jurassic Park franchise, outside of the first movie, where's my buddy? Come on, buddy. Let's bring you out for this. This is the thing that came with the special edition Blu-ray box set of the Jurassic Park first three. Nice. You look good. You feeling good? You look good. The weird thing about Jurassic World is that it's very much a commentary on movie franchises today. And that's really cool. It's very meta in that fashion. And the things that they're saying about it are awesome. And the big storyline...
You just went and made a new dinosaur? Probably not a good idea.
The geneticists are making a new dinosaur to thrill the crowd because...
corporate felt genetic modification would up the wow factor.
In this movie, there's a conversation between the main geneticist and the guy who is running the park, who now owns the park. It could have come right out of a conversation with a movie studio exec, where the geneticist says, "You told me bigger, more teeth, cooler. The word you said was cooler." Okay? That conversation I can see happening in the big black Universal Tower, you know? Like, where they're all getting together and being like, what does the next Jurassic Park movie need? Well, what did they like before? Okay, let's take that and make it bigger, more teeth, and cooler. Nothing is cooler than Jurassic Park. That movie had everything. It had characters you liked, had a good story, had good themes, awesome action, and the best use of CGI and practical effects. This one, obviously, has an over-reliance on CGI, but that's like every movie now, so that is what Jurassic World is. It is this mammoth movie, huge blockbuster movie, cobbled together from things that we liked before, except now they've made it bigger, and this, and that, and the other. It's a thing that doesn't need to exist, that does exist because people keep paying for it.
Every time we've unveiled a new attraction, attendance has spiked.
That's what it is. It's commenting directly on spectacle movie franchises. Within the movie itself, it's saying these things. And I think that's pretty cool. Things that are very good about the movie. There's a lot of really awesome action and a lot of really awesome tension. There are more dinosaur attacks, like awesome, hardcore dino violence, which I love. This movie delivered in spades. Good times. And the park is open. Ever since Jurassic Park, you've wanted to see a dinosaur theme park, or I have, desperately. Finally, the park is open. There's a bunch of people, 20,000 people in the park. So you see everybody hanging out in the park, and that's great. And you see like that it is very much a park. There's a friggin' Margaritaville in there. Eliza and I went to Margaritaville accidentally on our, like, honeymoon trip. So cheap. So cheap. Just tourist attraction. And I think most of my problems can be summed up with just one thing.
It's not about control. Stand down. It's a relationship. Based on respect.
I mean, come on. Come on. I love Chris Pratt. And Chris Pratt does a good job with what he's given in this movie, but this storyline, not a good idea. The Jurassic Park franchise has a problem with this. You like this thing, and people talk about this thing because of the way that it kind of rubs you wrong. Like, okay, so you take Jeff Goldblum. In the first movie, he's sarcastic, he's great, he's philosophical, and he's a jackass.
Boy, my head being right all the time.
He is a jackass in that first movie, and that's what you love about him. You're like, oh, people like Jeff Goldblum, let's pick him the lead in the next movie. But if you're going to make him a lead in the next movie, you've got to make him more relatable. So you've got to give him some, kid to be raising, and you've got to give him a relationship that needs protecting. And, so you're trying to basically turn Ian Malcolm into the Alan Grant character. Give him an Alan Grant journey from the first movie. Guess what? We don't want that. That's not Ian Malcolm. You took Ian Malcolm and you granted him. You granted him up. I don't want him granted up. I want him Malcolm, but in order for that to be, he needs to be in the passenger seat. We need somebody driving the story who we can like and root for, and then Ian Malcolm can give them a hard time, and we can love that about him. That's what they did with the Velociraptors. Everybody loves Velociraptors because they are horrifying. They tried at every opportunity to eat these two children as best they could. They're scary as all get out. And you take them and you tame them. Now look, based on the trailers and everything, I thought that would be the stupidest thing ever. Like, oh yeah, he's taming Velociraptors. The Raptor Whisperer, as reviews and people are calling Chris Pratt in this, that storyline should not ever have been, it could have been a conversation, but then you dismiss that, because you don't want to see tame raptors. Raptors are the hardcorest, and you want to make them hardcore, and you want to leave them hardcore. You don't want them teaming up with the humans. You don't want to Alan Grant them up like you did with Dr. Ian Malcolm. This should not be happening. However, they did a decent job, okay? That storyline was more believable than it ever should have been. It only was distracting a couple of times, like where you're like, why? Okay. And then you buy back in. And the way that they evolved that storyline throughout the movie is very clever. It's very good. So good job, you guys. Good job for making something horrible pretty decent, you know? And I'm just talking about that one storyline. Overall, I like Jurassic World. I thought it was a good time. It's no Jurassic Park, but, you know, none of them have been. It's more fun to watch than any of the other Jurassic Park sequels. So Jurassic World did a decent job with it. And I love all the dinosaur attacks. Come on, awesome. But this is part of the thing that we are now congratulating filmmakers on. Taking bad ideas and making something decent out of them. That is our new barometer for success in big budget filmmaking. And I don't think that's the way it should be. Nothing's going to change because we keep paying for the dinosaur mutations that they're giving us. We want to see the spectacle. That's it. I do. I pay to see this because it's a good time. It's a good time. And I work for a living. So when I'm not working, I want to have a good time. This movie is a good time. I love movies, okay? But they're telling us at the same time, you guys, we're just following orders, you know? We're just trying to give you bigger, crazier, more teeth, you know, cooler. One other thing, that they go more into the first movie than any of the others have before. Thank God we're back at Isla Nublar. That's the island from the first movie. Isla Sorna is the island from the second and the third movie. I didn't want to go back to Sorna. I don't care about Sorna. That's like a biological preserve. I want to go to the park. And they finally brought us back to the park on Isla Nublar. But they do so much. Looking back at the other movie, they keep playing these same beats that we've seen over and over again because they work. You know, they worked before. A lot of this movie is, hey, remember. Hey, you guys remember? You remember in the first movie when this happened? Wasn't that great, you guys? We did good with that, right? Yeah. Hey, and then remember this thing happened? Wasn't that a good time? We all had good with them. Let's do that again. Because you loved it so much. Don't you still love it? Remember? They take us back to locations from the previous movies. And it worked on me. It worked on my geek core heart. You know? Like every time some kind of reference from the first movie would happen, like really specific reference, I'd be like, and I just, like, that's what this movie is. It's taking the things that you loved before and trying to bring back the good times and then make them bigger for you. That's it, okay? That's what the franchises are doing. We keep paying for it, okay? Jurassic World. That's what I think about it. I'm a little all over the place. I have people asking me what's going on with Pops, because the last few updates I have not addressed Pops at all. Pops is still going. Today I worked on a very particularly difficult VFX shot that was giving me nothing but problems. So I had to go back into the raw footage and select a different take, but then I didn't have an audio track that worked for there. The recorder screwed up. Not user error, that was actually recorder error. So I had to cobble together an audio take for that clip using different takes from the audio to see if I could actually make that happen. Then I pulled that clip in and did VFX on it, and now I need to do a second pass on it. This is what it's like, you guys! Okay. It gets a little frustrating sometimes working on Pops. I have been working on Pops. I had a couple freelance projects that I took on because there's a short that I want to make that's not Pops related. Toward the end of the summer I want to shoot it, and I needed to raise money in order to do that. So I took a couple of freelance gigs. Those have been occupying my time a little bit here over the past week, and now I'm finally getting back to working on Pops. Probably about at least another month away from episode 9 being done. But I gotta get back to work, you guys. I hope you have a good week. That's the Pops logo. I'm going to Austin this week with my wife and my friends, and I hope to see some of you at our screening on Thursday. Take it easy. Jurassic World.